Hello students, welcome to the lecture on staffing patterns, and after this lecture we will be able to learn the following objectives. Explain the services of housekeeping, describe the functions of housekeeping manager, understand the basic activities of management plan, explain the functions of cleaning workers, understand the job and workforce quality, define the challenges and solution of housekeepers. Let's start with the concept of staffing patterns. The housekeeping department must be the most important. It has the greatest proportion of hours to cover, the most staff, the most hours to cover, and it is a cost center. Unlike the restaurant and bar, which are revenue centers, and as long as they are not overstaffed, the more staff have, the more revenue is generated. The housekeeping department is also the one the customer notices most if anything is wrong. One has to have the right number of staff on duty or it shows. A housekeeping department can have the following staff depending on the size of hotel: housekeeper and assistant housekeepers, roommates, cleaners, staff mates, cloakroom attendants, house porters, valets, laundry and linen keeper. The staff hours of cover depend on the hotel and type of customer. Business people require different time schedules to people on holiday with children. The staff needs to be scheduled accordingly and in a ratio to the number of guests staying in the hotel. Fortunately, most people book ahead and the workload are known well in advance, especially during peak periods. The staffing requirement will depend on the occupancy of the hotel. It is possible to get quite good estimates of staff numbers based on average times to do tasks such as cleaning a room. Then one can allocate 10 or 15 or even 20 rooms to each roommate. It is also quite easy to estimate the total number of staff needed in a year for a task. If we first deal with a new hotel, then the resultant method is easier. First, do not start from the yearly totals. Use the daily hour totals to tell how many staff are needed each day. Then start to allocate shifts according to the occupancy rates anticipated. At this stage, one can use full-time or part-time staff working full shifts, half shifts and split shifts. Give the staff days off. Usually in the ratio of 4 every 5 days they work, they have 2 off. Try to use full-time staff as much as possible if they are cheaper and fill in the blanks with part-time staff. Then one can recruit the staff in accordance with one's requirements and allocate shifts to the staff weeks in advance, possibly months. Let us now discuss the housekeeping services. Characteristic common to all hotels regardless of size and category is the need for housekeeping services, which can range from very sophisticated to a simple matter of refreshing rooms once a week. For instance, a luxury hotel, casino or resort usually requires that the room be impeccably clean, that the bed linen is changed every time the bed is used, and that a turn-down service is provided daily. On the other hand, the service for a university residence room might consist in just providing the tenant with a fresh set of sheets every Monday morning. Mid-range service hotels generally require that guest rooms are thoroughly cleaned daily, that bed and bathroom linen is changed every day, and that 24-hour housekeeping service is provided 7 days a week. In any case, because housekeeping services must always be provided, the management of the housekeeping department in every lodging establishment is of critical importance to the success of the property. It is essential that future graduates of hospitality programs understand the option that the industry offers regarding housekeeping management position. Graduates wishing to achieve the position of executive housekeeper in a relatively short period of time should keep in mind that a small or medium-sized property does generally offer the best option for candidates to reach their goal. In large or very large establishments where housekeeping operations are quite complex, it will take longer for candidates to become manager of the department. In any case, the position of executive housekeeper will always be a challenging and rewarding one, as well as an adequate springboard from which to work toward the goal of becoming the property's general manager. When looking for their first job, hospitality graduates should understand the difference between working for properties that are independently or chain-owned, franchise or run by management companies. An independently owned establishment might not offer substantial opportunities for advancement, as the owners do not usually have any other properties. In this case, the waiting period for reaching an executive position can be a long one. On the other hand, chains offer limitless job opportunities, as these corporations generally expand nationally and internationally by building new places or merging with other companies. If a management company manages a large number of properties, the possibilities for advancing could be as large as those offered by chains. However, it is not unusual for these companies to be rather small, in which case not many openings will occur regularly. Often, independent operators own franchise properties. In this case, working for a Marriott or Sheraton hotel does not mean that one will be working for these corporations, as the owners have merely contracted with the chains the right to display their commercial names. Lodging is an integral part of the hospitality industry. Hospitality involves the reception of guests and the provision of services to them with liberality and kindness. The task of providing hospitality and services to guests in a friendly and efficient manner falls mainly on the property's room division. The overall success of an operation depends on the profitability of the rooms division, which generally accounts for a large share of the hotel sales, with generating a gross profit percentage from 70 to 80% of the revenue. As a member of the executive committee, the rooms division director takes an active part in policy-making decisions related to operations. Other members of this committee generally include the food and beverage director in charge of the food and beverage division, the sales director who deals with sales, marketing and public relations, the controller or chief financial officer, the human resource director in charge of personal matters, and the plant manager responsible for the engineering and maintenance needs of the property. Of the rooms division, which is divided into departments, the front office and housekeeping departments are of critical importance to the property. The executive housekeeper is the head of housekeeping and is therefore directly responsible for managing what is, in most cases, the largest department of the establishment. The position of executive housekeeping in the organizational chart is that of department head, equal in rank to the front office manager, the security manager, and the remaining managers in charge of departments in other divisions. Now, moving on to the next topic, we will study the functions of housekeeping manager. The hotel industry is having generally long working hours, and a shift in housekeeping could start as early as 5:30 a.m. The working week will always be Monday to Friday, as often the weekends are a hotel's busiest times. The work can also be physically difficult, carrying heavy cleaning equipment, moving furniture constantly on one's feet. The job may involve meeting a variety of people and dealing with guests on a one-to-one level, so the development of good interpersonal skills will be an advantage. The housekeeper will usually develop good managerial skills in order to deal with other staff members and customers in a range of situations. Depending on the seniority of the position, the housekeeper may have to manage budgets, so a degree of numeric and accounting ability in this regard will be developed. The major concern of direction and management of housekeeping program is the maintenance of environmental sanitation with an acceptable levels of bacteriological as well as visual cleanliness. housekeeping management and supervisory positions that are under the general schedule because of a paramount requirement for knowledge and experience related to management rather than to trades and crafts may nevertheless include a secondary requirement for such trades, craft or laboring experience and knowledge. Conversely, supervisory housekeeping positions that are exempt from the general schedule because of a paramount requirement for trades, craft and manual laboring experience and knowledge may include a secondary requirement for managerial skills, similar to those of managers and supervisors under the general schedule. Assistant housekeeping officers reporting to housekeeping officers with a full manager responsibility are also covered by the general schedule when they share in these managerial responsibilities to such an extent that they are the basic for the paramount requirement of the position. Usually, a careful assessment of the paramount requirement of a position will be sufficient to determine its pay category. Only after such a careful assessment has been inconclusive may a position be considered to be borderline with respect to pay category. However, in borderline situation, the total working environment of the position, such as the nature of the work organization, working and pay relationship, normal career progression, and management intent must be considered. The housekeeping officer is fully responsible for planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling, and evaluating the program at their specific healthcare facility. They coordinate housekeeping activities with other programs and activities in the initiate, shape, and set policy, procedures, standards, and goals, develop and apply an internal program of management review, appraisal, and improvement, establish the balance between quality and quantity in light of budget and ceiling constraint, provide for formal and on-the-job training and instruction, and assume an active role in the overall management responsibility for a healthcare facility through participation and service in the committee structure. Housekeeping officer formulate, implement, and coordinate and control comprehensive environmental sanitation programs. They respond to the myriad components of the healthcare environment and have the administrative authority to use discretion in effective needed change for the benefit of guests, staff, and visitors. The following is not all-inclusive, but it does summarize the more important knowledge, skills, and abilities required for housekeeping management position. Ability to develop procedure which match the specific goals of the housekeeping department with the broad overall goals of and ability to work with other managers to coordinate respective programs. Ability to delegate authority, ability to analyze programs and make decision taking into full consideration a wide range of factors and requirements, ability to communicate effectively with a wide variety of people, example satisfying program goals and plans to top managers and motivating housekeeping employees, familiarity with government-wide agency and rules and regulation in areas such as budget, personal and labor relation, and ability to develop operating procedure for implementing these requirements in the local housekeeping program. Practical working knowledge of some of the basic principles of chemistry, biology and bacteriology as applied to environmental sanitation, infection control, and choice and use of cleaning agents and equipment, and as gained by on-the-job training supplemented by the related experience, education, or special outside courses. This includes responsibility for performing the full range of the following duties and responsibilities. Determining long-range, intermediate, and short-range program goals and policies independently or jointly with higher management and or the appropriate committees. Developing and implementing organizational structures and operating plans and procedures to achieve program goals, monitoring effectiveness and efficiency of operation within the established framework and making adjustment as necessary. Determining need for an allocation of resources and accounting for their effective use, coordinating program efforts with other internal activities and as necessary program management officials at the headquarters level. Understanding agency and local policies and priorities and communicating them throughout the housekeeping department and communicating the goals of the housekeeping program to other departments. There are several advantages to allocating the guest rooms to teams. Individual housekeepers take ownership of the rooms they clean day in and day out, showing pride for the work they perform, which increases their morale. Teams create a sense of unity of common interests and responsibilities as per the corps by which Room attendants are less likely to let their partners down by calling in sick, thus improving attendance. A team may consist of 4 or 5 housekeepers, a team supervisor and a house person. The housekeeper cleans guest room while the supervisor coordinates the work of the team and inspects rooms. Let us now know the meaning of basic activities of management plan. According to McKinsey, the elements that today's manager work with are ideas, things and people. These are the main components of an organization and are in the center of the figure. The manager's task that is related to ideas is to think conceptually about matters that need to be resolved. The task related to things is to administer or manage the details of executive affairs. The task related to people is to exercise leadership and influence people so that they accomplish the desired goals. The functions of a manager can be thought of as continuous functions and sequential functions. Many times a question may be asked, but what does the manager do? The manager should be seen to do several continuous functions as well as several sequential functions. Functions of cleaning workers. Building cleaning workers including janitors, maids, housekeeping, cleaners, window washers and rug shampoo keep hotel buildings in good condition. Some only do cleaning while others have a wide range of duties. Janitors and cleaners perform a variety of heavy cleaning duties such as cleaning floors, shampooing rugs, washing walls and glass and removing rubbish. They may fix leaky faucets, empty trash cans, do painting and carpentry, replenish bathroom supplies, mow lawns and see that heating and air conditioning equipment works properly. Maids and housekeeping cleaners perform any combination of light cleaning duties to maintain private households or commercial establishments such as hotels and restaurants. In hotels, aside from cleaning and maintaining the premises, maids and housekeeping cleaners may deliver ironing, boards, cribs and roll away beds to guest rooms. They also may wash bed frames, brush mattresses, make beds and disinfect and sterilize equipment and supplies with germicides and sterilizing equipment. Janitors, maids and cleaners use various equipments, tools and cleaning materials. For one job, they may need a mop and bucket, for another an electric polishing machine and a special cleaning solution. Improved building materials, chemical cleaners and power equipment have made many tasks easier and less time consuming. But cleaning worker must learn the proper use of equipment and cleaners to avoid harming floors, fixtures and themselves. Job and workforce quality. The industry itself builds cities, drives economic development and provides a diverse set of jobs, including entry-level jobs that can be a launching pad into the labor market. It is a key sector with a broad set of stakeholders, not only hotel owners, managers and workers, but also local elected officials seeking to develop their cities. Planners and developers who make urban development deals and community-based organizations, including the many that represent recent immigrants and work to connect their members and clients to jobs in the industry. Hotels have always played and continue to play a vital role in our communities. Key challenges will define the hospitality industry in the 21st century, and success in meeting these challenges hinges on the ability of the industry stakeholders to come together and solve their common problems. In recent decades, the industry has undergone widespread consolidations and a shift from private to public ownership. Both trends signal a much more intense competitive environment. Large corporate chains, each owning a range of brand name chains targeted at different segments of the market, now dominate an industry once populated by small family-owned hotels. From 1990 to 2000, the market share of chains increased significantly from 46 to 60%, while the share of independent hotels decreased dramatically from 54 to 40%. The pace of merger is expected by many industries insiders to speed up in the next few years to extend that, as many analysts predict, eventually 5 mega hotel companies will control the worldwide hotel business. Getting to the problem. Other hotel managers have been more proactive in dealing with recruitment and retention problems using employee recognition programs, referral bonuses and connections with community-based organizations. But while these strategies are a step in the right direction, in the end they are only partial solution. This is because they are often implemented in a piecemeal, short-term fashion rather than being part of a long-term, full-scale investment in solving the recruitment and turnover problems. Challenges and solution. There is no better way to attract and keep workers than to offer them real chances for growth and advancement. In fact, the hotel industry is one of the very few sectors that already have a well-established career ladder for workers without a college education. The significance of this cannot be understated. In many workplaces, it is virtually unheard of for an employee with little more than a high school degree to start at the bottom and eventually move into the upper ranks of management. Yet in the hotel industry, entry-level workers do just that. In the front desk department, career ladders have been an excellent way to find good workers, train them, and develop a strong core of upper-level managers who know the industry inside and out. Now, in the end, let us summarize what we have learned in this lecture. The staff hours of cover depend on the hotel and type of customer. Business people require different time schedules to people on holiday with children. The staffing requirement will depend on the occupancy of the hotel. Mid-range service hotels generally require that guest rooms are thoroughly cleaned daily, that bed and bathroom linen is changed every day, and that 24-hour housekeeping service is provided 7 days a week. Besides providing lodging and professional services such as check-in, luggage handling, and room upkeep, rooms division personnel must provide the home away from home, feeling so cherished by travelers who are temporarily separated from their families. Janitors and cleaners perform a variety of heavy cleaning duties such as cleaning floors, shampooing rugs, washing walls and glass, and removing rubbish.